Dakle, nalazimo se u KSET-u na koncertu Pro-Paina koji su nam opet došli u Zagrebu. Sad ćemo malo popričati sa jednim od njih da nam kaže kako mu je u Zagrebu i koje su njihove očekivanja večeras. Hi, welcome to Metal and welcome to Croatia again.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be here.
So how are you feeling today? It's a bit hot and...
Yeah, it's a little hot and the club is probably going to be quite hot.
Packed.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope so. Not yet, but I hope they will come.
They're drinking in the park.
Oh, they're busy?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Last night was a hot show as well, so we were hoping for a little fresh air, but I think we can deal with it.
It's still the beginning of the tour, so you're a bit fresh now still.
Well, you would think that that's how it works, but it works the opposite way.
Really?
At the beginning, you're trying to get used to it and get a routine with, you know, sleeping in this thing and drinking so much and maybe not eating very much. But once you get a couple of weeks into the tour, then it becomes easier. And then hot shows and difficulties become easier.
As you mentioned, you are on the scene for quite a long time, for like more than 15 years now.
Yeah, it's 16 years now, I guess.
And what I actually want to talk about is your latest album. I want to ask you about the title. What does the title refer to?
The Age of Tyranny?
Yeah.
The 10th Crusade? Well, it's as political of a record as we've done. And the closest thing to a concept album. It's if you look into some of the politics behind the scenes, behind the governments, you will start to find similarities to religion starting to not so much control things, but be used to control things. And Age of Tyranny, it's just it's similar to the Spanish Inquisition or the Crusades of the past. In fact, our current government has named their movement as a nickname. It's kind of a secret, but they've called it the 10th Crusade. So they're approaching it from a religious standpoint, and there are those of us out there who strongly disagree with their motives. But it's not just limited to our government. I think it's a worldwide thing. It would be very difficult to find some place on Earth where they're not in control.
Okay, what about the music? Like, did it change musically? Why did you develop scenes called Taste of Freedom, for example?
I think we have. I think we've maintained a certain core element of the band. I mean, obviously, when you hear Gary's voice, it's a signature of the band, and there's always heavy guitars, and there's a certain groove to Pro-Pain. But we have, even in the early days, we've experimented a little bit with maybe different instruments, and as of late, we've gotten a little more into some melodies, as opposed to just barking out heavy metal-type vocals. So yeah, I guess you could look at it as though we're changing a bit. I like to think of it as evolving, but I suppose the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? little tie-in to the show, you get it?
Okay, so after we already discussed that you're going to be a lot of different tour this summer and everything, so what are you going to do in the fall? Or like, the new album came out a year ago, are you going to do some new stuff?
Well, we are actually in the middle of doing our next record. So we will...
Tell us a bit about it.
Sure, it's called End in Sight. At least that's what it's called now.
Okay.
I think that's gonna work. And we're covering some new ground. As I say, we're getting a little more into melodies, some different kind of instrumentation, we're trying to evolve in a certain way that that's better suited to who we are now. I mean, you know, after 16 years of doing a band, if you're the same person you were 16 years ago, there's something wrong. So if we were to go and do the same stuff that we were doing all that time ago, I don't think we certainly wouldn't be satisfying ourselves, and I think everyone would just be like, oh yeah, it's the same old shit, you know. So it's evolving. There's more melody. There's some interesting things going on. It's a little difficult to explain, but as soon as we finish this tour, which is a short tour, we'll be back on June 9th. I think we'll be back home. We go right back into the studio, and I think within 2 weeks we'll be finished with the record, and that's due to be released in August. Right about the same time that we will be starting to do festivals, summer festivals, all over the place. Actually, we're doing quite a bit of festivals, and that's going to run up into a fall tour. So I think we're going to be over here on the road starting in early August through to probably into November. So yeah, it'll be, again, we'll be busy. Hey, this is Tom from Propane, and you're watching The Metal Eye on Z1.